Hi guys. Remember Sean, right?
Yeah.
And I'm Allie, the host of this podcast that has been non-existent for many months.
But we're back.
We're back! And we have a name. Tea for the Otaku.
What she said.
Yeah, because it's more fun, and I like to drink a lot of tea.
A lot.
And I thought it'd be, better to have, something that has to do with anything at all with anime in the title, because this is an anime podcast.
That's right. And you're drinking 2 things of tea before she started.
So. I have 2 bobas on the other side of this camera, and then I have water. Yeah, I just kept pulling them out of my bag. You didn't say anything.
I tried to. I feel like I'm used to it at this point. I think you usually show up with 1 or 2 of them, so no, that's no problem for you.
I need the caffeine, and then I had non-caffeine one before I started this.
Yeah, they balance out, right?
Yeah. So we're excited to be back.
Yeah.
First episode of the new season 3. I saw that you guys all really liked Sean's episode he did last season with What the Fuck, JJK.
Still mad.
I'm still mad, but look I have a Toji shirt and I have my Toji earrings, so some things have changed.
I feel like Toji Appreciation kind of stands separate to JJK as far as like an entity, because it's a whole different mood.
Yeah, I really like Hidden Inventory. Like, that is my favorite part of JJK.
Yeah, it does kind of stand on its own a little bit as far as the media goes, but and it has like nothing to do with the horrible ending, right?
He's been making fun of me every time we like hang out or we see anything JJK. I'm just like so upset when I see it. I'm so
it's like instantaneous. There's no like delay. It's just instant, like the seething, just instantly.
Starts laughing. It was like we're in the grocery store and I see JJK.
Because we see grocery store JJK products a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we went to like Maya.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's.
Did you see that they're making like canned bread with Gojo and Geto on the cover?
Weird. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Canned bread. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't know if that's just like the name of it and it's not actually bread, but
interesting.
I don't know.
Canned bread. Comment about it. What's your favorite brand of canned bread?
Why people be like,
actually, it's
actually.
Could educate us. You want to tell them which anime we're focusing on today? Yeah,
we'll be focusing on some new anime. We're going to catch up a little bit, so you have to listen to us. I'm actually kind of nervous.
Why?
Because it's been so long.
Oh, no, we'll jump right into it. It'll be great. We're talking about the hottest anime on screen right now.
Sean really wants to talk about it. It's To Be Hero X.
Oh, I'm so hyped about it.
It's like a whole move. It's like a formation, kind of like the Teen Titans.
I mean, if you know anything about this anime, which assuming you would want to know something, we're spoiler into it, right? Because there's 7 episodes in it. So if you haven't seen all 7 episodes for watching this, like, you're gonna have a bad time.
We'll talk about it, and then we'll do a synopsis, and then we'll say okay, it's gonna be spoiled from here on out.
Okay. So you got like an overview kind of thing?
Well, yeah, tell them what it's about.
Yeah. So if you've watched anything like My Hero or any sort of like hero based, it kind of gives us at a very base level kind of that vibe. It's about heroes, and in this world at a very core level is that how people feel about you gives you powers. So if you're like a really good doctor and you're kind of like a provenly good doctor, you're better as a doctor. And that's not really the focus of the show at all. It's just kind of how the world works.
Well, it's trust.
Yeah.
So the more someone trusts in you, even people that meet you, they trust in you, it shows you on your wrist.
It's not like a symbolic thing. It's a literal function of the universe that people have. It just shows up on their wrist.
But people's imaginations are so strong that they make you into that superhero. I think a really good example of talking about it in a non-spoiler way is that Fireman. Because they show a fireman who...
Fernman? Yeah. Fernman, the fireman.
He went into a fire to say, and he saw this little girl and he's protecting her, but a piece of the building is falling down. He catches it and he's holding it for hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he drops down to he drops one of his knees because he's getting tired. And the girl is holding onto his knee because she's I'll help you. Because she's little. She doesn't really understand. And because of her doing that, he was no, I can do this. And that's not her believing in him. That's just human thing. If you're in that kind of situation, you're going to help the person who's helping you.
Right.
It's you both want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So when they got out of it and he told the story and she told about it, everyone's oh my God, we trust in him. He's the Furman. He can hold up anything.
Yeah.
He stands tall. That was his whole thing. He literally got to the point where, because he had so much trust and he became one of the top heroes because of this.
Yeah.
people believe that he never bends.
Right. You don't get that feel spoilery. We're getting into like.
I don't think it's spoilery to talk about like the little things that he said happened. Like he couldn't take a shit. He couldn't bend down to take a shit. Like he had to be like a lateral. Like
the cool thing is that how they believe in you affects you. That like what they believe about you, what kind of hero you are, what you're capable of, how you like even like on some level it's like your personality. Like the main character of the first part is the hero Nice, and so he's seen as kind of like a perfect hero, and so everything about him is perfect. And it's like in really subtle ways, like he's incredibly OCD. Like he like fixes things and adjusts things, even to be like clean and even. And that's like his fans influencing him. He like has like it goes a little back and forth on like the level of control they have over it. And not like what I like a lot about it is not every hero like has like drawbacks necessarily. Obviously, like Furman he's got some serious drawbacks, but it doesn't seem like everybody's like that. It just kind of depends on like how your fan base is and what you grow into. And they kind of just dictate your entire life as a hero. Because like it's kind of implied that like if you're not a hero, your situation's a little different. They touch on it like a little bit, but like particularly when people believe in you on a hero level, because that's such a rare form of trust to have, that's where like the real power comes from. And so we really kind of see we're only 7 episodes in. There's kind of a lot. Is it really gets into like the depth of that. That's like the crux and the core of the show is like the people's opinion of you, the trust, and then how it affects the heroes, even like running like with your views and against your views in different ways. And I think it's really cool. They really kind of just so far they've kind of explored a few kind of really like interesting kind of storylines of it. And yeah, it's amazing. I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Pause this, watch all 7 episodes, and then come back if you haven't.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say to add on to this is like just explain across like how much the fandom, like the public opinion, is on the heroes is like, well, they don't see the drawbacks. Like that's not shown because the publicity agencies that run these heroes aren't going to show that because they don't want to lose trust. They don't want to lose power. They want their popularity to keep boosting so they get more powerful and move up in the ranks of heroes. But the other thing is too, they are so strong. Like here, like the public opinion is so strong that like if I'm a superhero and I want to go save someone, if this is detrimental to me, my fans know about it, they'll be like, "Don't go,"
and it literally stops them.
I physically cannot leave. Like I can try, but if I do, I go against everything, and it's really hard to break it, or almost impossible. So now we're getting to the spoiler part. So spoiler time. Don't make that sound.
Do you do like a cut in the music?
No, I'm the editor on this.
I know.
I'm not that good.
Hey, Allie's editor, which is her, put some music here.
I'm not going to do that because I'm actually not even going to rewatch this to cut anything. Because if I'm going through it, I'm like, it's fine.
You just sit there agonizing it all day, trying to get.
I'm not going to do that because sometimes it's just hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like I fall asleep a lot during it. I'm like, all right,
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I already was in this. And it's like a lot of stuff I don't know.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to admit I don't know how to work any of this technology. I just have my phone set up and we have mics. We have mics. They're very professional and they do work. Yes, they do work. That's why you get this crystal clear clarity of our voices. But okay, that feels like enough time for people to like figure this out. Yeah. So one of the cool things I wanted to kind of explain a little bit about this, that like kind of the meta of the show, is that they're doing like a really like live user like fan feedback for it. So what's really cool is there's a top 10 hero list, and they kind of get into it in the first couple episodes, or by the end of the first couple episodes, they get into it. But they're having fans in real life vote on the top 10 heroes. And so you can go online, you can go to their website, and you can give your trust to one of the heroes. And there's different ways you can get trust and stuff, kind of apply it, blend it in and stuff. But it affects the top 10 score of the heroes. So while these new episodes are coming out, this top 10 list is changing. Like the first couple episodes follow Nice or Lin Ling, and by the end of it, things happen with him. Is like his trust goes up. He rises up. It's like as of right now, he's the #1 hero. So in the show, Nice. I thought he made it back to Nice's team. So that's what's cool is in the show. You're right. In the show, he's the #10 hero. But in the live real world board, for us, for us, he's the #1 ranked hero.
to the commoner.
I mean, I really like him. I was like,
yeah. But it's changing because Isol, I'm assuming everybody still listening to this knows what's happening. So
if you don't and you just want to spoil it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But
Isol was it was lower, and so as his episodes were happening, he was moving up the chart. I don't
think he's number one.
No, he's not. Yeah, I think he's 6 now. I think.
That's fine.
But what's cool is, and I've heard rumors. I don't know. This might not be 100% confirmed, but that's what people have been talking about. Is that for season 2? So at the end of season 1, the top 10 hero board, whatever it is gonna get locked in when voting for it's over, and then season 2 starts with that hero board. So we're literally, we're
voting for my guy.
So if you're watching this and you want to go figure it out, maybe she'll put a link.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description.
It's in. You have to translate it. It's a little bit of a pain, but you can do it, no problem.
Chinese.
Yeah. But you can vote, and then it seems like the way he kind of implied it was that when he starts season 2, that's going to be the hero list, whatever the fans lock in, and which is crazy from a storytelling standpoint, because it's that could drastically change the story theoretically, depending on how he does it and everything. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's really cool. I don't think I've seen too many animes or shows like this. Another fun fact is that it's not technically an anime because it's Chinese. And so a lot of anime websites and stuff don't allow content from it on there. Reddit, the anime Reddit doesn't allow to be Hero X content on there because it is really dumb.
It's Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Technically, you have to be an anime to be on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Or an anime adaptation of a live action movie.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
But no, it's really cool. I like the art, the animation style for Superhero X is really cool because at first you're okay, it's kind of like Arcane. I haven't watched Arcane. I tried. It's not something I'm into. Which I know probably get shot for this.
I mean, it's really good.
I'm not saying I'm not compelled by the story. It's just been really hard for me to get into it when I tried watching it, and I did give it quite a try. It's just not for me. Sometimes that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. But I still appreciate it. I appreciate the music. I like all the stuff. I mean, I watch all the edits. Victor Nation.
You're so fun.
Dude, Victor.
No, I do like Victor.
Yeah, well, him and what's his face? They're dating.
Oh yeah.
They're the dads. Yeah, the boyfriends. But it starts off with that art style, but then in really intense moments, it is anime. It gets really, really intense. And so far, the outline of the episodes are the first 4 episodes are about Lin Ling.
Yep.
And his story with Nice and with Moon, and you learn about this hero society and what's going on. And then, obviously, they lead you on the most drastic turn of events. Go back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you gotta watch that the last
because the timeline is where we are is where Lin Ling is.
Yes.
He is current to us. It ends on a very drastic event with a character that started way in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I'm reading that I haven't eaten, but...
That's fine.
I know it's super funny that I'm what?
That far.
So now we're here. So he had a 4-episode arc. We just did a 3-episode arc.
With Isol.
I really, really want to talk about a lot of different things for this because I love Lin Ling and I know we should start there.
Yeah.
But Isol's so prevalent right now.
Right.
But I guess we'll start in the right order. So Lin Ling is he works for an ad company that works for heroes, and he works for Nice and for the superhero Nice and his girlfriend Moon. Mm-hmm. And he makes all the ads. He's in love with Moon though, because he's oh my god.
Everybody's in love with Moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, he legitimately is in love with her.
He calls her his goddess. What girl couldn't be swayed by that?
Well, her, but yeah.
I mean, he gets her.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I guess if you know that how it kind of ends.
He kind of gets her.
Yeah, the first if you want to get an early from the end of the first episode is one of the first controversies I think is that it shows her dead. Right?
Dead, yeah. It shows her dead in his bed.
Yeah. And then the next episode she's fine.
But they never talk about that. He never talks about it, and it's almost like a bad dream.
So it's there
I wonder if it has a premonition.
Well, that's what I think. I have 2 theories because there is one line where Lin makes a comment to Moon about how she can't just fake her death again. They obviously won't buy that when he's pitching the idea of them getting married and then her getting killed or whatever. And he's they won't believe that and stuff. So it kind of implies that Moon was basically pranking him by pretending to be dead.
It didn't seem like a prank. It was too realistic to be like that, and it literally ends up exactly how the arc ends.
And that's the other thing is that
maybe she was just like whatever, like didn't pay attention to him because she wasn't, because he says that, but what if, and he thinks it's a prank.
Yeah.
But she's like, what are you talking, like whatever.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah, I do think there's a level of premonition that goes on. I think there's definitely seems like there's a level of that. I know, like, especially like the Easel episode and with old Easel, his kind of premonition. There's actually it shows like right before he fights new Easel, he has like that premonition about how it's like his fight and kind of things leading up to that and everything. And it seems like it kind of like replays that same sort of pattern. And so I think there is definitely like a thought process there. I think the other big one, and this is my personal theory, if you know how, so I don't know if you want to pause it or whatever at some point, but you want to see the Hero X video, like it sheds into it a little bit.
I have realized I can't pause it. I can only stop it, but
that's fine.
We can always walk away and I just leave this open space and cut it.
It's up to you.
And be like, well, we'll get back. And then
I can also kind of explain the gist of it too.
I don't want to be surprised. I want to be surprised when I watch it. But I guess with Lin, he got fired from his job, as if you've watched the show or if you're watching at this point. He's standing on the ledge, nice, walks by him and just walks off the building. We get no context of what Nice found out. There's hints at it. Mm-hmm. We find out nothing.
I also like Miss J's line about who, and he's like, why did Nice kill himself? And he's like, Nice had to make a decision. You'll have to make a decision too at some point. It's like, that was such a non-answer. Yes. Like, what?
Yeah, and now that we know that the person that owns Nice's agency that Ling worked for is the dad
of Shang Chao.
He's in part 2 with new Isol and old Isol, and his son dies in that. And he was very rich and his son was cool. But his son dies.
And it's definitely new Isol's fault. No, you know, that was the thing was he said he hesitated.
Yeah, he did hesitate because he's like, oh, this guy's taking this girl I like, and then he doesn't even end up with the girl. There's so many different things about Isol. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna talk about Isol.
Okay. I think he's a great character.
He's Batman.
Why is he Batman?
They literally show his parents getting killed in front of him. Old Isol saves him.
Yeah.
And he just wants to meet him. Like, he looks up to this guy. It's his hero, like his personal hero. And he thinks his personal hero turned his back on him when he's older because the kid that's new Isol that like is imitating him and like shows and plays for kids.
Like kid shows, yeah.
He becomes him because one of the kids that he watches, like that like comes to a show and he hangs out with, because the kid's sister like, hey, he doesn't have friends. Could you hang out with him? It's like, sure. Sure, I'll hang out with your little brother. I like you. I want to go out with you. We go to school. We go to college together. But sure,
the little brother's also low key. Like he's like the realest character. Like he's like straight up honest about him.
Yeah, he's like
tells him like it is.
Baby, you like my sister, and he's like, how do you know? And he's like,
like my intuition is always correct. Or you know, he says he always understands the vibe. Like his vibes are always correct.
But, yeah, he's like, and the vibes are weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so the kid gets like taken or whatever. Nobody knows why. But new Isol's there, and so he's in the outfit, like the costume for Isol. And so what he likes to do is there's like a cosplay contest almost for Isol, and the top people who like look the best and have the most trust or whatever get to meet him. Mm-hmm. He never wins because he has zero trust because
his parents died.
Yeah. And he was raised in an orphanage. No one wanted to adopt him because he had no trust. No one wanted to hire him out of a company because he had no trust. But that is the thing.
It does bring like a lot of really interesting questions about the world. Because like your parents are supposed to be the first people that believe in you, right?
That's true.
And so like that's
also, why does he call that one guy uncle if he's not his freaking uncle?
I think it's just like a title. I wonder if it's just like a Chinese thing. I don't think they're related.
Yeah, at first I thought they were. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you take him in? Why
it's also weird. I mean, I think it makes sense. One of the things that my first clue in about like the big twist with Uncle was, it was like, okay, if
his voice.
Well, my first thing was that he has zero trust, right? But then he works for Uncle Rock, and like, why doesn't Uncle Rock believe in him? Like, why doesn't make any sense? And it makes sense in the end.
Because in the end, big spoiler, Uncle Rock's the reason the kid got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why.
I think the kid had nothing. I think it was just to get the new Isol into it. Like,
I don't think he did that because he wanted him to die. he wanted to kill the fake Easel, he said.
Okay.
Remember, he set it up for him to be killed. Okay. But the other kid answered the door. Oh, okay. So if it wasn't him, it would have been him.
Okay. My takeaway was I thought because the Rock is with the Easel at the very end up in the building,
I would have so many questions if I was that kid. I'm like, dude, Uncle Rock, what'd you do to your hair?
Mm-hmm. Well, so I think there's some time has passed by then, but there's also a theory. I think that the person standing there is the new Easel, but there's a lot. They leave it at least a little open ended that they don't know. So that could be the old Easel standing there.
But he's too short.
Maybe.
And little.
But
their trust merged.
Their trust merged.
What if they're saying?
So it could be, yeah. So I think it'll be cool to see where it goes.
It's happened before in that society.
Yeah.
No one's ever taken someone else's place.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Because he got his arm blasted off, right?
And he got his arm blasted off. It's the same arm, but it's different. He's not this big guy. So it could be old Easel in this new body. It could have been old Easel's whole... Wait. Conspiracy theory. What if this was like a whole thing that old Easel came up with Uncle Rock, and Uncle Rock's like, yeah, I'll find you a body, kind of like Orochimaru looking for a body to go into, because he's like, well, I'm getting old. Nobody, like, the whole brand needs like a new,
right,
kick to it. Nobody cares. And also, he always said he had one person he was looking out to protect. Who is she? But it's also the same thing that New Easel says, because now he only has one person he wants to protect, which is right. We never see the kid again. So what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then the girl, I hope she becomes like a superhero, or like I hope she works. What if Uncle Rock works for the evil organization?
Well,
what if he starts it? What if old Easel is actually alive? He lost all trust.
Right.
And he starts that evil organization that we see.
Well, they made a couple comments they alluded to was that one of the Easels perished. So either old or new, one of them is dead. They definitely kind of said that because their trust merged. And so, which is also a pretty interesting thing where like how they both were sharing it, because that's how the world works.
Yeah.
That's why the merge happened, was that one of them died. And so as soon as one of the Easels died, they instantly lost the trust, just power system wise. And so because they both, I guess, sides of the Easel fandom, they all loved Easel, whether it was old or new. Then once one of them died, it automatically combined them. Mm-hmm. Which is an interesting way, because it's like so say like the old Easel died, right? And it was a new Easel that won. All the people that were fans of the old Easel like weren't fans of the new Easel, but they were still fans of Easel. And so that's why it combined, which is it is pretty interesting, kind of how the world works in that way.
I want to know who the fuck Uncle Rock is, and I kind of want to push him off the hero tower. I also want to know what the girl's doing later on, now that it's been 35 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Also, how is the Enlighter still looking that young?
Well,
because we see him 35 years ago.
Well, this wasn't...
And then you come back.
Wait, what do you mean 35 years ago?
Because that's what it says, 35 years.
The 35 years hasn't passed since...
No. You're
talking about between Nice's storyline and...
Yeah, because Easel? Nice is here, Easel's over here.
I don't think it's been 35 years. 35 years was
since the commission started.
Yeah. Not since Easel.
We know it tells you like how long, but it is a few years. But it looks like the Enlighter never aged. What if I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like one of my things now, I'm pushing pretty hard is Enlighter did nothing wrong. I feel like Enlighter at no point, but like they paint him as a bad guy, and if you really think about it, Enlighter at no point did anything wrong at all. Okay. All that he did was expose liars. Like he did, like seriously, like he came after Nice. Nice was lying. Everything Enlighter said was absolutely true.
Wait.
The relationship was a sham.
That was the only reason he was going after Nice, was because he didn't like how popular he was, and he's like, this relationship is fake.
But it was.
Yeah. But he does do bad shit.
What bad thing does he do at any point in the show?
He like sets it up so that guy that fired Lin shows up and is like...
Yeah, but he was also a shitty person.
Okay, yeah.
I think he
is a shitty person.
Yeah.
He's like sort of a shitty person too. So you kill that guy.
But
then also when he becomes kind of like evil, he does worse mean things. But yes, he does expose. Also, can we just talk about how the fandom came up with that one guy that like
the Blankster?
The Blankster?
Yeah.
Punches you so hard.
You lose your memories.
Like, he must have had a fight before that, like someone got like brain damage.
Well, that's what's kind of interesting too. I think is and how the worlds work is as far as like it's explained to us is that their power base are kind of based on like how the people that trust them it formulates that way. But it doesn't. Blazer seems kind of like a weird person because I think his powers came from the fact that he lied, right? Like all his fights were fake, and so it doesn't. I can't really think of how like the people that like him would grant like how his fame would grant him the power to remove memories. That seems like something that's like his ability and that he just has. And so I think there is a level because he was famous off of putting the metal weights in his gloves.
Well, that was what he lied about.
Yeah, that's what he lied about. But because he did that, it gave him the illusion that he had really heavy fists and he hit people really hard. So they imagined him with the metal fist, and it kind of like self perpetuated itself.
The other thing to think about too is for a man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying this can be true about heroes, can it be true about villains? Because that girl kind of looked like a wolf. Like
yes, I do think.
But then at the end, she wasn't.
Yeah, it's like I think it perpetuated
because
that too.
It's like you believe the big boogeyman is something scary, but then when you see it, it's not.
Well, also keep in mind that the reason Wolf Girl looked like that was because the comics that she put out. She put out those comics painting Furman in a bad light, and they had the wolf in there. So I think because that's what they said is like fear or trust is a power source, and so is fear. Fear is the opposite side of that. And I think that's where, if you remember how the original Nice and Wreck, the guy that was in love with Nice, they were like buddies. Remember?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. They were together. They had to be together.
Absolutely.
And he was like, "Oh my god, he died," and then I think that guy also died.
Well, I think that's where I think fear with the salary man, it's like a bad thing, right? Like, but I think
because he uses something
that little device thing,
like steroids.
Yeah,
it's not a good way to get superpowers.
But I still think the Tree Man, which is the company that Nice works for, is that Rec works for them as well. And so I think that was like their undercover thing is that people loved Nice and trusted Nice, and then Rec was the enemy of Nice, and so his power came from their fear of like Nice losing essentially. And so that was essentially like Tree Man as a company, like perpetuating fear as like the counterpoint. Because it was all fake, right? Mm-hmm. Like, but Rec and Nice they were rivals. But Rec still had powers, like, right? He wasn't a hero, he was a villain. And so they still like utilize that fear as all part of their whole image and stuff. And so I think that kind of lends it to like, Enlighter did the same thing, right? He utilizes fear and everything. But once again, he still took down Blankster, who was lying again. He just took him down by exposing him. And even when he kidnapped Moon, it wasn't really Moon. It was just a fake, just to expose.
He was lying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He never did anything wrong.
Yeah, he helped out Diesel, but he didn't find out like the true.
Yeah, he helped Diesel because Diesel was lied to.
But he didn't find out like the true culprit behind it. He's like, I'm probably dead, and he's like, that's what I'm believing.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not wrong, but it's also kind of interesting too. If like you can make such a profit off heroes, why don't they have a villain's tower? Because that could just be like a shell corporation of theirs, and they could own both sides. Like the people who are fighting in the war also owning the.
Well, maybe they do. It's just not like a publicity thing. And maybe they have like a facility.
Makes you think who's running this evil organization and what their goal is.
There are companies. I did make a note of them. So if you're really into like the top 10 hero thing, is that Tree Man is a company. Their only client is Nice. That's their only one. And I think
I thought they had Moon.
Well, she's not a hero anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, they did have Moon, and then now I think it still has Commoner. Is now their employee. But Easel and Ghostblade and Dragon Boy all work under the Mighty Glory. They're one company, and then DOS is another company. They have Queen, the Johnnies, and Lucky Cyan, who you see do the music and stuff.
She's like Kitsune Miku.
Yeah, and she has luck-based powers. It's pretty cool.
That's always good.
And then FOMO, which the acronym Fear of Missing Out is the name of the company. And they seem like an independent company who just brings up other ones they have. I think it's Loli and who's the last one? It's AKU. Aku. I don't know if you say that. He's like a dog that wears a tie and a hat.
You see him in the opening sequence, and I'm like, dude, a dog is a superhero, and I totally believe that because that's probably based off of the Shiba Inu legend, like the dog that waited for his owner. Yeah, and that's kind of like I was talking about before, is the website has a bunch of videos that kind of showcase all 10 heroes. And so you get to learn a little bit. Like, they don't like explain a lot. It's just a lot of like crazy imagery and stuff.
That's why they talk about when Esol, about how he uses the lightning blade, whatever his big finisher move was.
Yeah.
And then how he won't use it. The reason he won't use it, they actually show him using it, like in the videos. He's fighting this other like shaved head guy that goes evil. It kind of he shows up in a couple different videos.
Why doesn't he like to use it though?
Well, I think he lost his arm when he used it.
Okay.
I think that's how he lost his arm, was because they don't ever like explain explicitly. But if you watch like the videos about Esol are all about the old Esol. And so that's why I think a lot of people think that the new Esol that won is old Esol. But I mean, I'm sure
we'll have to wait and find out. We'll write more conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I'm also like interested at the end of the commoner, Lin Lang's story is he goes to Moon. I feel so bad for her. She's like, I want to go to a place that like nobody's gonna.
Yeah.
But it's like a deserted island, no way of communication with anyone, no food, no nothing.
She didn't take her. I remember when she left and she dropped the gun. I like when I slept, I was like, why did she leave the gun?
Because she was like,
I know,
like a normal person.
But then she's like, fuck, I left my gun.
And he's like, God damn it, I'm screwed. Because I like how he's like, you guys, she's dead. Like, believe that she could go anywhere she wants now. Like, she's free.
Right. Yeah.
So that she can still have that power, but like not as strong, and it won't. Because before she had that power, she can go anywhere. But because like her and Nice met.
The fans wanted her and Nice to be together.
Her gun only ever led her to him.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Which just kind of leads a little more to what you were saying earlier, how like I think, because in my head, right, like one of the big things that like is that there's obviously villains in this world, right? And so the fans are
but really, they're very hidden. Like,
yeah.
You don't see them that often.
But there's a lot of opinions about the heroes, right? And so like when they're fighting somebody, it's often televised so that the hero can draw more trust and stuff while they're fighting. And that's shown a couple times in this series. And it makes them stronger. But it limits them in with how the fans treat them. And so it seems weird. It's like if you were living in this world and you're like, wow, there's an evil villain showing up that wants to hurt and kill people. Like, and then people are like, oh, but like they're being exposed, like in light of like exposing this hero for like being shady and shit. Like, okay, but like we're gonna die if this hero doesn't stop us. Why would I give a fuck if he cheats on his taxes?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
I just need him to save me.
But that's not really ever how it is. Like, it's their trust and their like belief in the hero is like the forefront of everybody's minds. And it's kind of weird.
It's more about popularity than it is about actual power and doing anything heroic, which sucks. Because Lin Ling does want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like why he gets called the commoner, because when he fights the Enlighter, he's himself. He broke the rules of going against what the people wanted.
And like instantly lost pretty much all of his.
Oh yeah, he lost all of it. And he just shows up, like, doesn't have the white hair or anything.
I wonder, do you think because he has one little piece of white, do you think that comes in? It's like what that's supposed to symbolize?
Like
his one white hair, because he still has like something of Nice's power left. I don't really get it either. I don't know.
Maybe it's just like it was a traumatic event.
Yeah,
it's just men.
Yeah,
because it was so traumatic.
Well, he has
MA and like his hair.
I wonder if like there's a little bit of like, because it's mostly seen as like instantaneous, like
maybe he owes a lot to Nice, so like that's like a
it's like it's his belief in Nice.
When he fought the Enlightener, he didn't do it because of power. He just kept going, and
he just cared about Moon.
He just cared about Moon because he does love her. He calls her his goddess, and he knows like random shit about like how many commercials she's been in.
Well, he wrote them all, right? That was his thing, right? He's just looking at his resume. He's like, actually, I just wrote that in a resume. I wrote 480 hours. I mean, he's like, I know what that number is.
Yeah, he's like one of those fanboys.
Yeah.
And then, but the end of the commoner's thing, when he goes and finds her, like, it's cool that he can use her gun instead of it just being key to her.
That's a good point, too. I didn't really think of that.
Yeah, they don't really think about that.
She used her gun. You're right.
Yeah, and then he's like, I thought you might need this. And she's like, thank God. And she's like, because I haven't been able to get off this freaking island. And they're about to have like a moment. But then she's shot, and it's the exact way she looks and the exact blood spatter.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you took the images, printed them out, you could probably overlay them. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That he saw on the first episode at night when he went to his, like, apartment, or Nice's apartment, and she was there sleeping, but when he pulled back the blanket, it was her dead in this exact same pose. Laying on the same side, shot right here. Who we see over in the corner, not Toji.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, JJK could have been fixed with a gun.
Easel.
But you get Easel, and it's the small Easel, not the big burly Easel that is old Easel. But now we don't know who Easel actually is.
Right.
So we have that, and he's just like, he's like, dude, what the fuck? Like he's looking at him like, how, why? What is Easel doing? Like, in any world, why would he do this?
Right.
Because there's no way Linling could have anything to do with his friend's death or his parents' death.
Well, one of my, I have a couple theories and some jokes about it and stuff, but
jokes.
Well, like I think that the two companies, you know, they run parallel to each other, and I think they've kind of built them up a little bit, or they're gonna build them up to basically just put the commoner versus Easel. I think that might be some sort of like.
I don't like that team up.
No, not a team up, but them fighting each other.
I know, but I don't like that like matchup.
Oh.
Because I do like both guys. I think they're very interesting, like with their backstory, especially young, like who. I don't like calling him young Easel because he's a person. The kid's a person. Like Linling is a person before he comes the commoner.
Right.
Or nice, but like you don't really remember his name.
Right.
Young Easel.
Yeah.
He's just Easel.
Right.
And yeah, he's not a person. He's just an entity now.
Yeah, and I think that might be part of it. Is now that he's just with the way things went and everything. Because another thing, I'm going to keep hammering this whole thing on the same way. Enlighter is not a bad guy. Old Easel wasn't a bad guy either. I feel like they made it out like he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he didn't really.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He's like, it's fine. Like, just let it go. Unless we find out in like later on that he's like the whole mastermind behind it because he wanted a younger body. He wanted to pull Orochimaru, which could be true. Also, I just don't like Uncle Rock. Can we just kill him the whole time? When this last episode happened, the newest episode that came out, I was sitting there, and as soon as like you got like the montage of Uncle Rock doing all this shady shit, I was like, I'm not surprised because his voice sounded exactly like the one on the phone in the first episode that said to pick up the kid and to kidnap him.
Right.
And I can see him not paying those guys and those guys being mad about it because like that was how this thing started with like his thing with his delivery boys. And then also like he does not pay young Easel enough money for all the shit.
He didn't pay him anything. He didn't pay him anything.
He's focusing on the money. You shouldn't focus on the money. And it's like, sir, apparently you are this secret evil guy, and you're this corporation, and you're putting up this whole front of a store. You can fucking pay him his wages.
No, he needed him to be poor. That's how he was able to manipulate him. Same way he brought Shang Chao in to sponsor him. Like, I think you're right that he kind of settled up to kill Shang Chao. And that's why
I don't know, because in the thing, when you see the unveiling of that it's Uncle Rock, when he makes the call and he tells the guy, he's like, I got one more job for you or I'm going to kill your brother. And he's like, please just let me talk to him. And he's like, no. And he's like, I need you to kill the fake one. Doesn't specify his like friend who's rich.
Right.
Says the fake one.
True.
So that is something. You always have to look at word choice.
Right.
This, I know it was like translated from Chinese, but like the dub comes out at the exact same time.
Okay. Yeah. Which I actually really like that a lot.
Yeah, but every single thing means something in this show.
Right.
Like Moon fake dying. Yeah. Her not acknowledging it when Linling brings it up. He's like, yeah, you can't fake your death again. Never thinks about it because she's probably just brushing off like, what are you talking about?
Well, I wonder, now that you kind of laid it out like that, I'm wondering if
word choice is important.
Well, I wonder if certain characters or certain people have powers. They're just like their latent ability, and then like their other powers, like as far as trust goes, it doesn't really necessarily cater to that. It builds up by like basically how Blankster was like the Iron Fist, and he had powerful fists, but he could not punch people's memories out. Is that Linling is precognate naturally, and so once he has the trust and stuff, he was able to get that kind of vision and stuff. And
dude, I just want to know if powers are. If he's like this. We just need to figure out why Nice kills himself.
I know. It's like it's gonna be a fair
like this.
Well, that was his pose. That was like what he was famous for.
Yeah, but he does it right when he just like he's like, dude, I'm actually.
He has to.
Because he's like, I'm gonna jump first.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, let me go first.
Hey, hold my beer. Let me go first. That was so weird. And the guy just like is like holding this up, looking at it, and he's like, what the? And the whole team shows up and they're like, where is he? And he's like, yeah, he's down here. And they're like, are you freaking kidding me? Because at that point, Nice wasn't just a person; he was an entity that they controlled, and they were able to replace him.
I had so many theories, but before
I think it would work because they don't know his real name.
Right.
But because he looks like nice and he's walking around as nice and they can see him and he's there tangible, he took the spot.
Right. Yeah.
But again, this goes back to I'm surprised they didn't bring up young Isol and new Isol after the commoner is made.
Right.
Because this says very much. I wonder how often this happens.
Right.
There has to be big schemes. Like if I was like working like a long con, or like a thief of any kind, or like a villain, I'd be like, our whole thing is find someone who looks like that person, that hero, and get them to have their trust, their power, and replace them, and then take over the world. It seems so easy.
Well, I think there's like a level that makes it a little harder, and one thing to kind of reinforce your idea a little bit is that I can't remember her name, but the Isol's love interest, her little brother.
Never see him again.
Yeah, but he says in the beginning, he's like, "You used to be a really good Isol. I used to love watching you. Like you had powers. Like or he doesn't necessarily say that, but he says like you were amazing, and now you just kind of suck. And he's like, I never had powers and stuff, but I think that like when he was on the stage playing Isol, the kids believe like on some performative level believe that he was Isol.
So he could have lived.
And so he's kind of had the powers, maybe not necessarily powers, or maybe it's just the kids see it that way. It's kind of just like but it like the kid kind of had a very like misrepresented like image of how amazing he was, and I think maybe that is because like a subset of the power system is like it has to be real. And so somebody just showing up pretending to be a hero, like, isn't that so like an easy thing to do?
I'm gonna pop your bubble because
Okay.
I'm gonna pull something up earlier.
Yeah.
Remember when he said, "But Uncle Rock never believed in him"? How wasn't he suspicious?
Yeah.
That kid, he still had a 0, and that kid said he believed in him. All those other kids, even if they didn't know it was really him, they still would have believed in that Isol at that moment, and it's never changed.
And I wonder if that's just because he's not Isol.
Maybe the thing is what held him back the most is because he never believed in himself.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe in himself until he saved that kid. Well, the kid believed in him first, then he believed in himself, but maybe that was the biggest obstacle. Also, why does he not have other family members?
I know, yeah. I know some of it's just a little bit of like, it's
obviously, when you're in an orphanage, you're not going to trust anyone else, and people aren't going to trust you because in orphanages, like, hey, if it's here too, especially in the U.S., it's you just take care of yourself. Right. You gotta fight for yourself.
It kind of shows how fucked up this world is at its basis. It's like,
well, yeah, this is kind of like the boys.
They say it is a lot like the boys. But they literally like they show us a bunch of times. They're like, oh, why does he have a 0? That's suspicious. What's wrong with him? Like, why isn't the next sentence his parents were killed? Like that feels like such a sentence too for that. I mean, it's like
sorry, no wait. Yeah, Isol. Yeah, we're talking about Isol.
Yeah, we're talking about Isol. Yeah.
But like the whole time up there, like as soon as that happened, I'm like, he's Batman.
Yeah,
his dad died, then his mom died. His dad died protecting his mom.
Yeah.
Exactly like Batman. And the little kid is right there trying to wake him up, and old Isol's right there. Who's to say that was actually real old Isol? What if this is just a thing that they do to always have an Isol?
Right.
Because again, the arm is gone.
Well, I think that makes it so. Depending on which theory you want to go with, if you want to go with it, if it is new Isol that won it, is with the way he attacked him and like the blade came down, it does make sense that the blade might have just cleaved his arm right off.
But also, the other thing is too, you have to think about to go along with your theory is new Isol showed his face. That's what got a lot of people.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. At the end, you do not see his face, and I feel like that is a big thing. Also, why did he turn away from the girl? I feel so bad. She's sitting in the seats, and there's 3.
Yeah.
She's like in the rich boy seats. I don't think she would have stayed with the other kid.
No,
but he was a lot nicer than you perceived him to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually liked young Isol.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh. I mean, I kind of feel like it was always a business proposition, but you never know.
Well, like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't really care that much about the girl. Like, they were just friends. Because, like, on it, there's not a lot of chemistry. Not like Moon chemistry.
Well, the talking about Shang Chao did ask her out.
Yeah.
Right, and you're kind of right, but like, I feel like
why would he get 3 seats?
Yeah. Well, no, remember because she asked she asked the new Isol if he want to come with him.
And he said no.
And he said no, but he said he got us like the VIP seats or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he just thought she'd want to invite a friend. I do think like because there was quite a bit of like why was she there at all for a lot of the scenes, And like, because she wasn't really like, it made sense that Xing Chao and Isol are together because they work together, right? Like he sponsors them, but she was just kind of like around.
She's good because she helped out in the life.
It does make sense, yeah. It made it, yeah. I think that like him asking her out and being like, "Oh, I like this girl and I want this girl to be around." I think that kind of just gave an excuse for her to be around all the time for the story.
I'm a cloudy. Quiet on set. What the hell, man?
Oh my god. Oh, what?
Oh, your bitches. Is it Nikki?
No, it's actually no, it's not. Anyway,
our friend is on a trip right now. She's having a great time. She sent me pictures of like, this fun set, and I'm like,
dude, she sent me this. She pocket dialed me this morning.
And you just listen?
I did. Well, I always think like I watch too many movies, so a lot of times I'm like, if they just like call me and they don't say anything, like they want me to hear what's going on. Like this is like a sting operation. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I know people. I know people.
That kind of government role. You don't know that.
You don't know that. Anyways, we can't talk about that on podcast. Getting back on topic, one of the theories that I threw around was that before the end of this last episode, right? Is that there's lots of like within like the intro and like the different artwork and everything and stuff. They show the current Isol had the new outfit and he's missing his arm, right? And so I was like, how could he be missing his arm? Like the old Isol is, the new one isn't. And one of the things I thought of was
his arm that he's missing too is less technical than old Isol. Isol had like a really kind of beefy one.
Yeah.
He has a very thin.
Yeah. It's
like,
a lot
simpler.
Yeah. But I thought, what if the new Isol when he took over, right, the old Isol, is it because the fans know Isol as somebody that only has one arm? Is like what if it's like his arm disappeared? You know,
that'd be weird.
It would be weird.
What if they just made it more easier for like during the battle, like whoever wins, like that Isol has to be missing an arm, so they set it up to be one of the Isols.
Well, I wonder if just with the way the trust value works and how the fight, like
he did the thing that the other Isol didn't want to do because you're like, I mean, that's how he lost his arm. He did it, lost his arm.
That's what I think too.
And that's what the guy set it up. Uncle Rock set it up because he's like, he won't do this move. He's like, I'll do the social media.
And they're buzzing so that he could, and that's why I wonder: is it like the way the fight had to go down was like based on the trust and the way that people wanted the fight to go down? It's on some level
because the kid wanted to find out who killed his friend. He knew who did it. He could not find them, and so you kind of technically are looking for the person who's backing that person.
Dude, can we pause for a second on that? Like, Rocky literally captured the two guys that did it. He hung them upside down unconscious. And then
they were awake.
No. He waited until they woke up to drop them in cement. That is so fucked up. Like,
and that's why
gangster level shit. They just suffocate on cement.
Well, like they're drowning.
Yeah.
And what cement does, it like sucks all of the moisture from your body.
That's a fucked up way to go.
Yeah, it is a fucked up way to go. Especially waiting for them to wake up and do that and not like killing them.
You could just drop them off unconscious and just let them go and go a little peaceful. But but the other
thing is too, you have to think about is the kid never talked to Isol.
Yeah, he never got to meet him again. Yeah.
No. As they're fighting, like they're just standing there. He could have been like, "Why did you set it up? Why did you kill my friend?" Because honestly, if that was me, if it was anyone, even if it was Lin Ling, he'd be like asking questions. So the whole time fighting her, he asked questions. That was weird. He was already changing, and he was set in the revenge mindset. He was having Sasuke syndrome.
Yep.
But like a worse version, because Sasuke actually did talk quite a bit when it was about revenge and trying to find out why his brother did shit.
I do think that there was a level of like after Xing Chao died, is it like that level of seriousness you got from New Isol? Like,
because he blamed himself.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a little bit of like a descent into like him being a little edgier and more like deadly and stuff, and
like other Isol.
And so that when you finish this third episode, you're like, oh, this guy maybe he could kill Moon. Because in the first episode, you're like, how is New Isol would never kill Moon? He's so nice.
I need there to be a reason.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get to that too eventually.
So it'll be really interesting to see these different viewpoints. I'm really excited to go back to the commenter and figure out what the hell is going on. And I
don't know how his powers work. I want
to fight Uncle Rock. He betrayed what was sacred, which was Boba.
Oh, because Boba Shop.
He ran a boba shop.
Now we've come full circle into the real reason Allie doesn't like.
Also, he has like gray hair. This is like being betrayed by Garp all over again.
Dude, you and old men in anime, man. You always find a reason to hate the old veteran.
I was one of Garp's like stands. I was like, this is the coolest grandpa ever. I'm talking about One Piece. But then he betrays you on such a deep, dark level that you're like, wow, you're not human if you can do this. But Uncle Rock runs a boba shop that also does weird deliveries of huge things, which doesn't make any sense. We never talked about that.
There were a couple clues because when he was doing the media thing, when he was tricking the media for the lightning bolt attack, he's like, "Where is? Yeah, he just looks expensive and stuff."
It's big. It's like it's all right. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
like,
I think
he
has a lot of shady shit going on.
Let's money laundering, all right? Let's see what's going on. Why would you do this? Why would you sit up here? Why would you focus on me? Why would you do all of this? There's too many variables that we don't know of. Because picking that kid to be the new Easel, too much of a long shot. That's not a Gears.
Well, that's what they hinted that, and I think it was a really cool scene. Is if you remember correctly, he said in the boba shop that there was the seats where relationships are formed, and he's like, "What is this? What is the secret behind it?" And he's like, "It's not magic. It's just a nice position where the light hits correctly." And it's just the best location. So he said there's no magic to it. It's just proper placement, and then putting a little bit of and just focusing on that one spot to highlight it. And I think that was a symbolism of the tea shop in general.
Yeah.
He just needed to put a shop there. Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's too many variables. Like, I need more information. I like to know why serial killer does something.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that Uncle Rocky had like
also him just literally going to sink. I bet just doing like this to wipe out his hair, and he's all like, he's like this. I'm taking my ponytail out, and he's like, I'm brushing my hair out, and I'm wearing a suit now, walking all chill. I'm not wearing my fun Hawaiian shirts. Also, like Garp, but
yeah, okay. I think somebody pointed out too. When I was talking to you about this, is that because there's some time had passed between Easel winning the fight and then getting to and being in the tower, is that like if that is the new Easel that like Rocky's like, all right, I'll be your manager now.
Well, he took over. I think he wanted that in the beginning because that would be the only reason why he would kill that kid, because the kid was going to be his manager.
Right.
But the kid would do better for him than Uncle Rock, because I hate calling him Uncle Rock. Rock was just an asshole who.
Well, I think
he did it for himself.
Well, for New Easel, I think that him transitioning from like the boba store owner to like a businessman is just like maybe that happens slowly over time. For the way New Easel's seeing him is he's just like, oh well, now that Rocky is my manager, he has to wear a suit, he has to look nicer. This isn't that suspicious at all, and that could be kind of a way that he kind of like tricked him again.
Everything is sus. I trust no one.
I think he was just looking for a way in. I don't know. There's probably a lot more detail they'll get into it. Who knows the specifics? But I think Uncle Rocky was looking for a new hero, and he was kind of just looking for a way in. And this is kind of his plan to like find a kid.
Where did he get his seed money? Like he was already doing something else. Like
I'm sure he has a story. I'm sure maybe.
What if he's part of the bad organization? He's like, let me get a way in.
Well, I kind of think
turn him to one of my agents. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. I think maybe he's just a hero maker, like Miss J or whatever. He was just trying to figure out. Well, Miss J's like probably a decently okay person morally, right? At least on the level that this world allows, right?
Yeah, in corporate like media stuff, yeah, she's more decent than you would expect.
I mean, she didn't drown anybody in cement, and so
that's true.
She's doing better than Mr. Rock on that level.
I hope she like gets in a fight with like Rock, like they're like toe to toe, and she's like.
That's what I think they're setting up. That's why I really think it's going to be Rock and Miss J kind of get like.
Let's see the agents fight.
Not a physical fight, but I think they're going to set it up for Easel versus the Commoner.
I've been told lately I'm very suspicious of people.
Yeah,
with like shows, yeah.
oh, you've been in anime, not
yeah, like in anime. I watched the movie and I'm like, this person's the weak link. It's them that did it, and it was some awful horror movie that I didn't want to watch. And this girl behind me, like when the movie ended, I'm like, I'm right. And she like, when I said that first, like who I thought the weak link was of like the family who could have betrayed them. She's like, who hurt you? And I'm like, and then it ended, and I looked at her, I'm like, I was right.
Yeah.
It was him. He's a druggy brother that like didn't care about anyone. He set up everyone else because he wanted the money.
Right.
I'm listening to that audiobook I told you about. meet every time with Rachel, I'm like, I think this person betrayed him. No, I think this person. Well, honestly, if anyone's gonna betray anyone, it could be this one, but this guy has no spine,
Right.
so it can't be him.
And that's why I think To Be Hero X is just the perfect show for you because it really much.
I love stuff like this.
Feeds into that suspicion.
Well, it's not just suspicion. I like figuring out stories because you always look at the person who is. If we had seen this kid Easel's story first, I'm pointing this like you have a picture of him. If we had seen young Easel first, and then you showed me the cutscene that he kills Moon, I'd be like, no.
I guess
this is the least suspicious person.
That is a good question. So, how do you think you would feel if they had done Easel's 3 episodes first, and then they did Nice's 4 episodes?
I don't think we would have trusted Nice as much as we did.
Sure, yeah, that makes some sense.
And
but
maybe like wouldn't be as moving. But I don't know.
But just mean like Vince, but seeing that episode 4 and then seeing Easel standing there after having seen the first 3 episodes, because as you're watching the Easel episodes, you're like, I know where this kid ends up at. I know that he ends up killing Moon.
Yeah, right? But it still makes no sense watching his 3 episodes, knowing that. I'm like, what? That's not him.
Right.
Like the whole time, I'm like, that's not him, and oh my god, it's probably old Easel in his body.
Well, there's one joke.
Easel do that.
Well, there's one joke that that Easel is standing behind Moon, and the shot came not from behind her, right? It was next to her, shot her in the head. And then if you watch the videos about Lucky Cyan, she used a bow and arrow with green cyan arrows.
Dude, why would she kill her either?
So
maybe she's in love with the commoner. I don't know.
Well, the running joke is that because the next 2 episodes after Easel's episodes are Lucky Cyan's, and so then at the end of the Lucky Cyan episodes, the joke is that it's going to show it from Easel's point of view, and he's trying to stop her, and she shoots him in the head. And then the next episodes, it's going to show her point of view, and it's a different top 10 hero killing her. And the joke is that every single time it's a different person killing Moon.
It's kind of like
the previous person.
Everything in the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be interesting? So we're talking about a hero, because essentially so far what we've seen is people taking other heroes' place.
Yeah.
What if, hear me out, what if that girl takes the singer's place?
Oh, she's a big fan, yeah.
And I can see young
people. It's a big stretch, but
I don't know. I feel like she'll come back in it.
Yeah,
I feel like there's more stuff. I feel like all of the top 10 heroes, like, they know each other, but they're all suspicious of each other. But they're like, we'll eat together, but I'll have my knife right now.
I mean, there is, even in the videos, there's a little bit of crossover and stuff that does happen a little bit. But one of the things that I think is interesting is I was telling you about the top 10, the living top 10, not the the one people are voting on. Right now, I don't know what to say, but living because it's alive, it's changing. Right now, the number 1 hero is the commoner. The number 2 hero is Hero X, which was the previous first hero. You want to guess who the number 3 hero is?
Easel?
It's Nice.
Oh, damn. He's dead.
He's dead. But it brings up...
I wonder if they can resurrect him.
I wonder if they can resurrect. That's exactly what I was going to say. I wonder
if they go fix his body to, like, wake him up.
What if this isn't even the first time the reason Nice killed himself so easily is because he's done it before.
I want to know...
And they bring him back.
What choice he had to make. Like, what was something that was so, I guess, against his morals? That's what I thought, because when they showed his arch nemesis, Rek, his buddy that he grew up with, who...
His obvious boyfriend,
like, maybe he, like, made the choice, like, he doesn't want a high beam game, or so he died.
Well, I mean, like Moon had a lot of issues with the persona and, like, just being Nice's girlfriend.
Because she had to put together all the time, because she's so OCD and everything like that. And she's like, everything is dictated for you. Like, everything is for you. I am not my own person.
Yeah. And so I wonder what, like, kind of just taken from that is, like, I wonder imagine from Nice's point of view, he's the perfect hero. That's, like, his epilogue. And so, like, he's incredible. She even makes a comment how, like, when she throws the strawberries at Lindley and they get in the food fight, and she's like, oh, you're not like Nice. Nice would never do this. And because so Nice is, like, his OCD was probably, like, so much next level than what we saw with Lindley. Because with Lindley, you see, like, him, like, fixing stuff.
Wait, did you see his face? His face was, like, a big point, too, because when he's doing that, it's a whole new demeanor because it's not him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it is more influencing. I wonder if you could, like, it's just, that's what makes the show so interesting. It's like, you want to know more. Yeah. And it's such a really cool power system that other people give you that power. If I started a room and be like, hey, that like if I was a superhero and I was like pretending not to be me and I was out in the crowd, I'm like, hey, do you know they can shoot lasers from there?
Yeah, like kind of start rumors and shit.
Powers. I'd be like, yeah, let me breathe fire, bitches. Like,
and that's what's kind of cool. I hope they address that too. Is it like the because what we were kind of touching on earlier is that like it seems like at least on some level that the mass populace doesn't really know like maybe they don't know the specifics of it because it seems like something could very much be meta. Like the top business people could be like, let's make a hero and let's like
it
cultivate what kind of power, but they didn't really address like what kind of powers they get.
Well, I want to know what Linling has.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just exactly everything that Nice had? Because I feel like it's a little bit different.
It is. They say that he's a wild hero and he has like a
wild card.
Well, they say he's like a wild punch or something like that. They word a very specific way.
Because it's so new. So
yeah. I think he's gonna be like a brawler type where like he has to get hurt in all his fights. He has to be like rough and edgy, tumbling kind of thing.
But it is pretty cool. I feel like the realest hero that we met that isn't really influenced by anything because there's no way to police these heroes.
Yeah.
That we've seen. There's no counter. Like, yeah, we've seen a little bit of these villains, but like, I don't really see them having a point. They're just giving people power that making them have the trust.
Well, there was that one dude that Rock was talking to. I don't remember who it was, but he's like, he was like, man, like heroes these days, like he could just go viral overnight, and he's the new Easel overnight. He's like fans are swayed so easy. Like if a real, like he said, if a real hero villain showed up, we'd be screwed with these caliber of heroes. So he kind of alludes like things were different. He's like that. Like it took a long time for a person to become a hero. They had to really earn their way up and stop people, and that kind of implies that they were way stronger, right? He was kind of like, oh, these like fickle fans, like they're.
How did you find out about like this would work?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like
maybe we'll find out more, but it's just really interesting story to like debate and talk about the power system.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk all day about just the different applications, different power structures, like the ways you can manipulate fans. Like what you were saying, if you like were like a heroes manager and they're fighting like, I don't know, they're fighting like a fire guy. They're like, dude, I heard that like he could like sweats water now, or you know what I mean? Like just you could like ways you could influence him to like change their power structure. But I think there has to be some sort of logic behind it.
There has to be something, but it kind of also at the same time, how is there logic behind Moon's gun?
Well, I think that it has to be authentic. Like you can't like just be like, I'm your biggest fan because I know it'll make me stronger. You have to legitimately believe in them. Yeah, like that's like becoming a hero.
Moon was like a travel social media person. Yeah. She was like that kind of influencer. How did they even come up with a gun?
Well, that's a good point because I think that because hero trust is a rare specific type of power, but it's not the only one. That any kind of belief people have in you modifies that belief, or you're modified by that belief. And so she said that she was a travel blogger. That's what she did before she was a hero, and people really liked her. And so she was able to use her gun to travel over the world as a travel blogger. Like she wasn't a hero. And so then the more fans she got as a travel blogger, the more popular she got and everything. And she was just she was a non-hero powered person with a travel gun. But then once she like stopped that carjacking or whatever it was, and like Nice showed up,
like, caught her, and
yeah, like, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god, she should be his girlfriend." I guess they never actually say that Moon was a hero, right? Did they ever say? I don't think they explicitly say she was a hero. But it does. But I think that because once people started shipping her with Nice, it changed her power to be just the travel to Nice that we want them to be together. So now she just can't be a travel blogger anymore. So now she's just Nice's girlfriend, and she's like a hero. Like I think, but
I think we're missing a very big point here.
Oh yeah,
for a man.
Oh yeah,
he was a firefighter before. You just quit your job being a firefighter to what happens with that? They're like, no, we're taking this guy. Also, how was he not higher up on the
he's number 10.
Yeah, he's number 10, but you think because he has a giant ass statue of himself in front of the Heroes Association Tower that he might have more. But also, that guy just walks away and he's like, dude, I'm so happy I can take a shit.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna lay down forever.
Like, that's actually not nice. And he's like, I don't really care whoever you are, just do what you think is best. And he's like, and also like that. So he's like, I got a dinner date. He now has a daughter.
I think.
Also, where's that little girl's parents? She's living in the sewers.
They probably died in the fire.
Well, then.
I don't know. But I think it does raise a good point that you bring up is that I think that we're we're more or less working up from the bottom of the list or from the bottom list up. And so I think that's like exactly the point is that we're seeing like nice.
It just goes away. Like,
yeah. Well, like I mean,
it doesn't. His trust value didn't go to zero.
Yeah, but I mean, like Nice is famous because of like ad revenue and like doing his commercials and his dating shows, and that's gotten him to where he's at. And then Furman was just famous because he saved a girl, and it was a really good PR message, and he put a statue up, and that's why he's number 10. I think what we're gonna see as we move up is like a much bigger influence, even going from like Esol, who's like famous because like why is he's an old hero that people liked a long time ago, to like Lucky Cyan is she's a music star. She does concerts. So like if you think of like the music industry and the fan, because the Taylor Swift and shit, like that's a next level of trust that goes beyond. You know what I mean?
Well, in Korea, like with K-pop stuff, what we were talking about before all this, they see like
an idol kind of thing.
Well, they see idols like their K-pop stars as like their gods. So like if like any of the girl groups date anyone, it's a big thing. It's a big no. That's why suicide is really high. Mm-hmm. But they're like not allowed to date, and then only if it's like a really like skillfully planned out thing, and like the group breaks up and everyone goes solo. Yeah. And then like they continue their career and they do really well. There's like a whole planned out thing of like you don't really hear about people dating, you just hear about them getting married.
Right, right.
So it is like a huge thing, like because they're not supposed to have sex, like it's not supposed to touch them.
Right.
Because they're up here, they're on this pedestal. Americans, we view our like celebrities very differently. Like we're not that extreme to it. Like yes, we are extreme.
That's extreme in different ways.
In different ways, but like I feel like To Be Your Hex is like the like the Korean way with their heroes. But the other thing is too. Now thinking about it, why the company is supporting Nice, that guy whose son died.
Yeah,
Tree Man.
Or his name's Shang.
Shang. Yeah. Why is he supporting Nice and not Esol? Because he knows the kid is Esol, and he's like, that's how you can help me, is like getting his filler. Technically, if he does. I know, but like, I know your whole thing is like, we don't know if either or came out of this, but still, he would believe that it was the kid because it's like a smaller version, so why wouldn't it be him supporting him? I feel like he figured out what was going on, and he's like, I want to help heroes. Mm-hmm. But he's like, but I also want to defeat Esol.
Well, I think
he's like, because all of this is corrupt. Like, what if the dad is just like the wild card here, and he's just like, I know what's up. We're gonna fix this.
I think a few points. I think that Shang owns Tree Man, and then Miss J manages Nice. Like that's their little hierarchy. And then Shang Chao, his son, was just graduating from school to start his actual job and career, and so it kind of seemed like he wanted to start his own hero agency. And so I don't think Shang really had anything to do with Esol, just because that's not what he's doing. And then just his son happened to go to school with Esol and was interested in wanting to kind of be like his dad, make his own thing. But I think that Rocky is the CEO of Mighty Glory. And the one that's
no, but you would think that kid, if it was really him that came out, he would work with.
I think he worked with Rocky because Rocky's manipulating him.
Yeah, obviously, Rocky's awful. But yeah, no, the show's really cool. What is it? Every other week we get a new episode?
I think it's every Sunday. Don't come around. I think it is every Sunday.
Okay.
I can double check, but
because it just feels like it's really long.
Yeah, there's like 24 episodes. It's a lot.
No, I feel like it's really long in between episodes. But I guess it could be every week. Definitely watch it if you haven't watched it, and if you're watching it to this point of us, like what the hell are you doing? Let's go through everything and more things to think about. But yeah, I really like it. I didn't think I would. It was just something that I just put on because it was in English, and I was like, I've heard about this. It was kind of weird. I don't understand what people are talking about. So watch it. There's only like 3 episodes.
Yeah, I kind of started on a whim too. I think I just saw like one little like a comment somebody made about like it was a really cool show, and I heard
about it on another podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they were talking.
Hopefully, you heard about it on this podcast, and then you become a fan too.
Yeah, and then you can talk about this podcast. Everybody, you know.
Fun fact: if you didn't know, the one that the writer for this, the one that made it up, is you for the link click. Yeah, same guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's fantastic too.
I heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
I really want to watch it.
It's very twisty. So if this like pacing of like of being like drip fed all these kind of like weird conspiracy theories where you don't really know what's going on. Link Click is exactly that. You leave every episode like, I have more questions than answered every single episode. It's very good.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. I know there's books too now, but I was gonna watch it. I started the first episode when I was at the gym, and then I remembered something I heard about the first episode, and I was like, wait, I have to stop. I can't watch this around people.
Oh yeah.
Because like I know I'm gonna cry during like some of the episodes, but I know
some of them are really sad.
Yeah, but I know in the first episode, the girl in it is almost sexually assaulted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I was like, it's anime. Anybody who looks over, it's gonna be like the wrong moment. You know, like when you were a kid, you watch anime, nothing has ever bad happened in this anime. And then your parents like walk in at this one moment that all of a sudden your anime decides to be weird and do something creepy. That's happened to me so many times as a kid. I'm like, oh, this is a normal anime. Why is this happening? Mm-hmm. Or it's like it's a light shoujo. Why do we have this one weird implication?
Right.
But no, it's so good. I kind of want to rewatch the episodes now and see if I can catch more.
Yeah.
Definitely you and I have to talk about it every week now.
Yeah. And it's good because it's a really good show to watch like as the episodes are coming out. Like it'll be good watching like if you're like kind of person who wants to wait till all the episodes come out. I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. I think this is a really live anime. It's an anime that you want to like watch as soon as it comes out and like go talk to people about it. Like that's kind of the way it's made. And I definitely am down for like having regular conversations about it because
I've been telling everyone to watch it, but no, like every Sunday I'm gonna come over here. It's gonna be part of the podcast. Yeah. Like our To Be Hero X update is, oh my god, more things are happening because that's every episode. You're just
episode, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely that last one. Yeah. Boom! Let me just tell you, that was crazy.
And we touched on it, but like the animation is legit amazing. Like the audio, the music, the intro song's incredible.
The music is really
like good. Music's so good.
Like I always knew.
Yeah. Oh man, I have it on my playlist now. I listen to it all the time. Yeah, the music's really good. The animation. One of the things I compared it to, if you're a JoJo fan and you like how like JoJo switches up the animation randomly, it kind of like does a little bit of a nod to that, where it's like you're saying it switches from the digital.
It does it a lot. Like you could say that about any anime. Naruto used to do that too. It would in OG Naruto. They would for very important parts. It's because they worked on the scene so much that it became so detailed.
Right.
So it changed from the original artwork.
Yeah.
And so it was so much more in depth. Like it looked real. And you're like, wow, it's kind of weird because it's that time period.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's really good. You just give it a chance because literally I didn't think the main guy Nice would kill himself in the first episode, so I just like had to keep watching.
They do a good job of hooking you real quick. They're like oh my god.
Like, hey, let me tell you about this thing, and then you just shove off a cliff and you're like, oh my god, I have to know more.
I don't know how long we've been doing this episode, but I feel like if you're this far in the episode and you're not like and you haven't seen any of this show, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's good. Yeah. You get a lot of comments in your podcast. Is that a thing where you posted at? People comment. You post on Instagram, right?
The episode doesn't come out on Instagram. Oh. It's too long. Like they don't.
Okay. But I mean, like you do. How do you?
YouTube, Spotify, iHeartMusic, all that stuff. People do comment. Please comment. Tell us your favorite. Tell us your theories.
Go online. Go to the To Be Hero X. Just type in your Google. Go to the official website. Watch all the videos about the heroes, and then comment your favorite one. They give you a pretty good taste about what all the different top 10 heroes are about. And get an argument.
Actually, I'm gonna put a poll on this. Because on Spotify, you can click on your favorite hero. Mm-hmm. Because I want to know too what you guys think so far.
If you're wondering what mine is so far, it's Dragon Boy. It's cool as fuck. You'll see him. He's gonna be your favorite.
I picked the commoner. I'm with my boy, my homeboy.
I get you. He's that's like no, not Isol.
Not Isol.
That's how you see Dragon Boy. He's cool as fuck.
Isol anymore. Like I really liked him because I understood him. Mm-hmm. I thought he had a lot of character and a lot of heart. Fucking Rock, man.
Yeah, Rock
ruins it. Rock ruins everything. But I think we're gonna have to end the episode here. I honestly can't even see what the runtime is.
I'm sure it's crazy. Wait, where are we at? An hour and 13 minutes?
That's not bad. One time, one person talked and it was 2 hours.
I could talk for another 2 hours about this.
I want to know about other stuff. We just wanted to make this episode, the first one back about To Be Hero X. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us for this new episode back for season 3 of Chief of the Otaku. Me not remembering my own name.
It's a new name.
I paused a lot.
We're still ironing out the kinks, right?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure stuff out. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing. There's going to be a website. I'm halfway done building it, so we'll see what happens. There's also going to be a new time that these episodes come out. Have I decided? No.
You're like, you're also recording them in advance.
Oh yeah, I like recording them in advance, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way because like what you talk about is so.
Oh, because it's hot topics, yeah. Yeah, we gotta get this out. You gotta get it out before episode 8 comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna come out in the next couple of days because honestly, I don't have to edit it because I'm fine with keeping all of this in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow T for the Otaku on Instagram, YouTube. God, where else are we here? We don't have Twitter anymore because Elon Musk locked me out of my Twitter. And it says that I don't own Devious Dumplings. Like, it's still there, but it won't let me go in to change it or fix it.
Elon Musk locked you out of your Twitter? I did not see that coming.
I will always call it Twitter. I will never call it its new name. It's stupid. What am I supposed to say? Instead of tweeting, I'm
Dude, it's the same thing. Did you see that HBO Max? They changed it into Max, but just recently they changed it back to HBO Max.
I just always HBO Max, and they were just calling it Max to be.
Oh, they literally tried to get rid of the HBO part of it. It's the same thing with Twitter. Twitter is like
you can't get rid of HBO because that's
what it is. Yeah. God.
People don't know how to rebrand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I do though.
Yeah.
But yeah, but stay tuned. We are gonna do another follow-up to JJK. We're gonna talk about solo leveling. I made Sean a disbeliever into a believer of that.
Great series. Big fan.
We will also do updates about cons and stuff, because that's mostly what we've been doing. That's why we haven't been in here.
Cons and anime, that's what you get here.
And we have this setup. These
functioning mics.
Our functioning mics. Yeah. But we also have these mats. We've been playing One Piece, the card game, getting really intense.
Which is also really good. You should play the One Piece card game.
Yeah, there will be another episode about that too. So we've been having a lot of fun. I do want Sean to talk about cosplay soon because he's getting more into it.
Yeah.
He finally got his own personalized shots. Are you gonna put a giant picture of you as Corazon, like framed?
Yeah, probably.
Like one of those like mansions that like rich people have, and they have like oil.
Oh, themselves. That's so cheesy. Yeah.
Mr. Burns has like that one of him naked and decrepit.
Oh, I could never. I know what you're talking about.
I'll get you that picture of him. Put it up.
Can I just put my face over it?
Yes. All right, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. This is the weekend for us. I have no idea.
Have a great next weekend.
Yeah,
they come around every week.
To be Hero X. That's how you'll have a good weekend. Yes. Watch it. Be obsessed with it. Talk about it. Tell other more people. Get lots of comments with it. Yeah, and pick your favorite hero in the comments. Yep. Bye. Bye. Me coming all the way over here to hit this.